Hello, this is Pat Ray again. I'm talking about letting go or overcoming negative thinking. This is substance abuse class on a Saturday morning. Um, we are coming from Pat's Prevention and Treatment Services in Urbana, Illinois. For those of you who are attending class this morning with me, I need you to fill out your progress note. And as usual, I definitely need your name on it, your first and last name. I need today's date. I also need you to put the type of group because we do many groups at PATS. So this type of group is substance abuse. The topic today is overcoming negative thinking, getting rid of the negaholic thoughts in our head. So we want to talk a little bit about how negativity can become a habit. Thinking in general becomes a habit. And certain thinking leads to trouble and problems, which often lead to alcohol, drug abuse, or other kinds of abuse. So that's right. We use substances, people, places, and things to deal with uncomfortable feelings, sad feelings, mad feelings, whatever it might be. Those feelings come from what? They come from the way that we are thinking. And as we know, we've talked about this many times, our thinking comes from our beliefs. Our belief systems come from our life experiences, growing up, people, places, things in our life, books that we've read, groups that we have attended, rules and lessons learned in childhood, things that were taught directly to us by others, whether that's family or church or Boy Scouts, whatever it might have been that shaped you along the way. So, what we think comes from what we believe. And if I believe that the world is a beautiful, wonderful place, that's the way I think, and that's mostly the way I feel. On the other hand, if I think that the world is a scary, dangerous place and people are out to get me, that's the way I feel. And that's the way I behave. So I'll give you an example of how some of this might start. I want you to picture a little boy, 5 years old, his first day at kindergarten. He comes off the bus and he runs in the house. He's got his papers, they do those little pictures and they've got their first homework sheets or whatever. He runs into the house to the people that are there that are supposed to love him and care for him and want the best for him. He runs in, he says, look what I've got. And the people in the house say, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. I love the colors in that picture. It looks like that you had fun today. Yes, I did. I really liked it. Well, good. Let me look more at your papers. Sit down. Let's talk about it. Okay. How does that little boy feel about school? How does he feel about himself? Same scenario. Little boy gets off the bus, runs into the house. He's excited. He's got his stuff. He runs into the house and nobody really even notices he's there. He's saying, Mom, Grandma, Dad, whoever it might be, babysitter, whoever. He's saying, hey, look. Ain't nobody got time for you, boy. Get on out of here. Give me that crap. How does that little boy feel about himself, about school, about the world? That is where some of our stuff comes from. Not everybody has those experiences. But as we grow, we pick up parts of our belief system about what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about the world and other people. Okay? So let's talk a minute. When we get drawn into a pattern of negative thinking, it can be like building a prison in our own minds. It holds us captive. Yes, holds us captive. Now, many people try different ways to break out of these negative thought patterns, including distractions, diversions, drowning their sorrows, only later to mentally beat themselves up for still being stuck in their negativity. Okay, so it's an internal battle. Let's talk about how to break through that. Number one, really important thing, recognize it. Recognize the negative thoughts, the thought patterns. Again, I will tell you, pay attention to how you're feeling. If you're feeling grouchy, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling mad, whatever it might be, pay attention and then check, what are you thinking? Once we learn to recognize and identify those negative thought patterns, then we begin to have a choice in how we react to them. Okay, let's talk about some of the most common thinking patterns. One is anxious thoughts and worry. This gentleman, which I can't say his name, Michael Montaning, says, my life has been full of terrible misfortunes, most of which never happened. What the heck? What does that mean? Most of which never happened. This is where they happen, right here in the head. Oh my God, what if? I've got to do this. I have to do that. I should have done this. If I don't do this, blah, blah, blah. On and on and on. The mind is in the future, conjuring up scenes and thoughts about what could go wrong. Okay. Many of us do that. I do that a lot, even though I know better. Now, I am beginning to catch myself in it. Okay. What happens when I think that way? My stress, my anxiety goes up. Here's another big one. Maybe you don't have this one, but just listen and see. Criticism and self-beating. Constantly criticizing. Negative thoughts. Constantly criticizing. Might be hard on myself, focusing on my own weakness and perceived flaws. Likewise, I may criticize others, may catch myself just picking out all the negative things that they do. So, low self-esteem, then, if I am talking to myself, criticizing, oh, it's stupid, everybody else can do it better than me, I don't know, why I'm even trying to do this, I'm not good at this is crappy. Maybe you don't have those thoughts, but maybe you do. So, those thoughts result in feelings of being completely unworthy, may start to lose sight of our goals, isolate from others. So, negativity coming from our own head. Here's another big one. Regret and guilt. Ruminating about mistakes over and over and over, things that I can't do anything about. Ruminating about mistakes right now creates more negativity. So feelings of guilt and worthlessness may arise, and you play them over and over. Bad memories in our head, bad choices that we made, some of you, and maybe led to actions that we are not proud of. Okay, it's okay to kind of reflect back on past experiences. We certainly don't want to repeat them if they are ones that brought trouble and problems into our life. But instead of self-beating or wishing things were different, accepting them. It is what it is. I was a bad mother. I was a bad, you know, my interaction with my family was not what I wanted. Uh, okay, I have today. And from this point on, I can move forward and be the person that I really am. We all make mistakes in our past. Holding on to them ruins our today and our future. So it's a thought. Okay, here is another point. Problems. Negative thoughts revolve around what's wrong with your life. The attention becomes focused or fixed on and exaggerates whatever negative aspects might be in our lives. So what happens then is what's going well, we downplay. Okay. So keeping track of reality, balancing out. Yes, there might be some negative things in my life right now. Look at the world we're going through. Things are kind of wacky. We're not supposed to even go outside. That is different. But on the other hand, I have multiple things that are working in my life. I need to pay attention to those. No matter where we are, there is somewhere in our life some positive things going on. It's much easier to slide into the negative. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You're wasting your time there. You're making yourself feel bad. Instead, focusing on what's going right. Lots of things are going right. If I am isolated at home right now, it might be hard to see that. Spend some time thinking on what's right. Not enough. I don't have enough to make me happy. I need this to make me happy. They're wanting is detrimental to happiness. It creates feelings of discontent and restlessness. It can be particularly seductive. It's easy to place your ability to be happy on things outside of ourselves, Okay. Let's get rid of that. Too many people, it seems normal to always be discontent and wanting more. It's a habit. But when you always focus on what you want instead of appreciating what you have, it reinforces over and over that you and your life aren't good enough now. What you need, that you need something outside of yourself and in the future to make things better. Okay. My mother used to say, Patty, you're wishing your life away. Because I said over and over, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when. Wishing your life away. Tomorrow is not promised. Look for what I can be happy in today. Okay. Another one is disidentify from negative thinking. Okay. People who are trapped in this negative thinking often feel hopeless because they don't know what to do. You can't always think of things. You have to face your problems. Whoa. You have to plan for your future and you have to deal with situations. That's a lot, isn't it? And sometimes I feel like I can't do that. I can't. That's another word that pops into my head. My mother pops into my head. She said, Patty, can't never did nothing. she was she was from southern tip of Illinois, and can't never did nothing. And you know what, Mom, you were right. I think I can't. I certainly can't. I'm not even going to try. So I got to get rid of that mindset. Okay. Tells us if you want to get better, one of the ways is to become a watcher of thoughts. A watcher of thoughts. In order to become free of negativity, you must become more aware of your thoughts and start to pay attention to what is going on inside your mind at any given time. Each time your conscious awareness is brought to a negative thought pattern, it's like you put a little scratch in the old habitual record. After a while, that record never quite plays the same again and eventually doesn't play at all. Well, some of you might say, what the heck is a record? Well, a record in the old days was a piece of vinyl. You put it on the record player and it played your music. And if you got a scratch in that, it would go around and it would keep stopping there, going back and back. And the same thing would play over and over and over and over again. So, James Thurber tells us, let us not look back in anger or forward in fear, but around in awareness. So that means let's stay in this moment. Let's be grateful for what we've got. Let's think of what we can do right now. Let us enjoy this time, make it a learning experience, an opportunity to learn and grow, a time that we can become stronger and better and plan for our future. Take time today, right now, and do that. To become more fully conscious and able to step out of thinking processes, redirect your attention out of thought and into the here and now. Give the present moment your absolute, undivided attention. Right now, where are you? What's going on? What's happening that you enjoy, that you want, that you already have? Look inside yourself at the things that you want to do in this moment, whatever it might be. Maybe you want to call somebody you love, you haven't talked to them. Or maybe you want to shoot them something funny from Facebook. Whatever. Enjoy this moment because it will never, ever come again. And before you know it, it'll be over. I remember a long time ago, probably 30 years ago. It was over 30 years ago. And I was so depressed. I was so caught up in what was going wrong in my life. And I was driving somewhere I didn't want to go to do something I had to do. And the light was red. And in that moment, a couple who looked to be about in their 90s, a man and a woman, walked across the street. They had a cane, a walker. They walked across the street in front of me. And I saw that, and it kind of brought me into the moment. I was healthy. I had a whole life to live in front of me, and I had a choice. Life, you only go around once. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. And that couple said a couple of things to me. You're healthy. You can walk across that street. You can do stuff. The other thing was, it was kind of cool to see them together, helping each other across the street. Something to reflect on. Well, now I'm that old person. I'm not in my 90s yet, but I'm that old person. And there are lots of things I can't do anymore, but I dwell on what I can do. And I can still do a lot and enjoy it in the moment. So let's get rid of the negaholism. Let's drop it. Let's kick it out of our lives. When we do that, we are less likely to want to use alcohol, drugs, sex, pornography, food, gambling, serial relationships, video games for hours, Netflix for hours and hours. We are less likely to use those things to deal with life. And we are more likely to look for the silver lining. When we do that, we're going to be healthier mentally, physically, and spiritually. Okay, you guys have a good day. And you can contact me, Pat, at changeisachoice.org. You can contact me, text 217-766-9132. You can call me at 217-954-1128. Take a picture of your progress note. List the things that you have to be grateful for in your life today. Take a picture of that, email it or text it to me. You can bring it to the office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Hope to see you soon. Hope you are well. Thank you. Bye-bye.